What is Zen? Zen is before thought. Doesn't rely on labels, words, dogma, concepts, religion. It relies on direct experience. Originally, our minds are clear like space. Birds fly through space, they leave no trace. Clouds come and go. Space is clear. Originally, our minds are that. So from that view, everything is mind. So what happens is, because of our attachment to ideas, concepts, right and wrong, all these things that we create out of our perception, and our perceptions are skewed. We don't actually see things as they are, although we think we do. So already you see, already you hear, before you say, I see, I hear. Who is this I? That's also ever changing, just like the rest of phenomena. Nothing, there's no permanence. There's no permanent self. Everything is always changing. So these are the aspects of what Zen is focused on. Our original nature. What are we doing here? What is this? Without knowing, rather than thinking we know, we stay open to what is this? A common phrase is beginner's mind, looking at life with a beginner's mind. You know, a beginner is always open to what is this? What's the next possibility? So what happens to us, especially as we get older, we kind of stuck in our ways. And what we want to do, and I think why you're here, is you want to broaden your horizons. You want to get out of that. And so our sitting practice is constantly being present to this moment. And even though these ideas, these concepts, these feelings and emotions are constantly grabbing us and wanting to drag us along somewhere, we can see them for what they are. Again, the mind is clear like space. Or you could say like a mirror. And it's just reflecting. But what do we do when we look in the mirror? Say, the nose is too long. I got wrinkles here. I didn't have those before. I'm sagging where I didn't sag before. So you make all these judgments. You're not really seeing what's there. The aging process for me is actually quite beautiful. And we are all very beautiful. But we don't think about ourselves that way. We want to be 20 years old again. Or Michael's age. I want to be, I can pretend I can keep up with him, but I probably can't. So Zen is also being realistic about how things are, of course. Do we live in a fantasy or do we live in reality? Where are we living? Trouble with all the fantasies and the delusions, it cause suffering to ourselves and to others. The whole idea of I'm this and you're that over there, and you're different than me. Right there, you cause a kind of duality, a kind of separation. So there's not the opportunity to really see it. Look at our lives today. Look at our world today, all the separation because of how we view things. So Zen is about opening up, letting go, being in the moment, just as it is. I'm glad you're here. Yes.
And then the first 25 minutes, the rain was coming down. And
yeah.
I was like that. I was
Helped.
focusing on the rain, my breath and the rain. And then the second 25, it wasn't there.
Yeah.
Like,
because everything is always changing, and the coming and going, the traffic coming and going, we just, it's part of letting it go. So just like the rain, the traffic can become the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's just background.
Actually,
So that's the other thing that comes up. So when this sort of things in the environment peak, and you find you react to them in your mind, it's another opportunity to see how you judge your life, how, where's this coming from? Where's this attitude coming from? And one more thing that you can just kind of be free of by recognizing it. So our practice is constantly recognizing where we're stuck and letting it go. Sitting and going, I'm sitting, I'm doing Zen meditation. You're not doing Zen meditation. You're thinking, I'm doing Zen meditation. Did you have something to say?
Well, the biggest challenge I find, like, this is a little embarrassing, but the sexual thought will come up, and that's very distracting. And so sometimes, because you sit there, and if you're not careful, like, you can get into the, guilt, anger, like, it's just a lot of the very powerful ones. And I find that it's like, if you can just look at it, like, there's a sexual thought, it really dissipates it pretty quick.
Yeah.
Oh, there's anger. Oh, there's lust.
Yeah.
You can, it really kind of, it's weird, it really cuts it out. I wish I would have known this when I was like 20. It saved a lot of trouble.
So I have a couple of things to say about that. And my root teacher, Gosan, and I've mentioned this before, always said, there's nothing wrong with desires. It's the attachment to them. Mm-hmm. And one more thing, all the beautiful flowers, you can appreciate them without having to pick them.
Yeah. That's good.
So that's it. But that's wonderful, Michael. Thanks for bringing it.
Yeah, I caught that today. I was feeling like,
you know what? That's so wonderful that you're willing to be so honest about your experience. Thank you. If you sit at home and like 10 minutes, if you sit 10 minutes before you go to bed and let all that stuff, you're going to sleep much better. Your dreams are going to be better. Everything's going to be better.
Yeah.
And likewise, if you sit when you get up in the morning, first thing, the rest of your day kind of seems to flow better.
yeah.
Well, sitting is a practice of letting go, of not being attached to what's coming and going. So, rather than that song just being a disturbance, and it's a kind of clinging to it because, why won't that go away? Instead, it's a tricky thing. You have to kind of, everybody's different. Everybody has to learn it for themselves in their own way. But there's a place where you can just let it go. And it stays for as long as it does, because originally the mind is clear. It's a cloud. It comes and it goes. And you're centered in a different place. You're not centered in the clouds. So an attachment is being in the clouds and thinking that's reality. Yeah, it isn't. Your mind is clear like space. Originally, it's pure. It's like one of the sayings we have, we're already Buddhas. We just don't know it. We're not becoming a Buddha. We're already Buddha.
I first started joining this group when I was having real bad sleep issues, real bad. It was getting like hard to function. And I remember I was like reading all kinds of like cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia. And the one thing I realized here was that if I stop being so attached to the idea of I need to sleep, it's really hard, of course, because you're so tired and like tomorrow's going to be a pain in the ass if I don't get a few hours. But it was the connection being like, I need to sleep, and being like, I'll sleep eventually, but don't be attached to it. And that was that little bit helped kind of ease it up a little bit and help me kind of get out of that for a while. But it's the attachment. I mean, it's a big attachment.
Yeah.
Big.
Yeah.
But
mine is, I'm afraid I won't go to sleep.
Well, this has been a real pleasure today. Lovely to meet you.
Thank you.
Yeah, please come back. We had a wonderful retreat yesterday.
we did.
Yeah, it was really good.
Forward to the next one.
Yeah, yeah.
And you practice on Wednesdays or just on
Wednesdays evenings at 7.
here?
Yep. Yeah. All right.
Good.